What's up, gamers? Aaron Shack here, and we are live with some React content here. We're going to take a look at a new game called Exodus. You might remember that this game was announced at the Game Awards in 2023, and it has like those Mass Effect vibes. Well, I mean, the reason for this is that James Olin is going to be leading this project, and he is a BioWare veteran. So we're gonna actually like flash back here to the Game Awards and check out the reveal trailer. And I want to show you in its entirety just how this game was announced, and we'll look at some of this trailer. We're gonna look at other trailers, and we're gonna read up on like what the devs are saying about the game, like how they describe the characters, the world, the gameplay, and stuff like that. So we're going to learn a whole lot about Exodus today, so I hope you're ready. Strap in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on future videos. And I will pop that little button right there. There it is. Okay, for some reason it didn't work the first time. All right. So, let's go over here. Jeff Keighley and a surprise guest announced this game back in 2023.
There are lots more awards to come, but now it's time to look ahead to what you'll be playing next. Let's get to those world premieres. And for the honor of presenting our first one, it's an incredible thrill to introduce a true Renaissance man. Please welcome Academy Award-winning actor and New York Times best-selling author, Matthew McConaughey.
Thank y'all for having me. Good to be here. What's up, everybody? Good to be here with you at the Game Awards. Now, I was going to come out and I was going to say the line that has preceded me all my career, all right, all right, all right. But they told me, they said, no, 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 don't do that.
Pleaser.
Come out and say, pew, pew, pew. All right, we'll see how that handled. I'm here tonight because I have a world premiere for you from Austin's own Archetype Entertainment. I'm also here tonight because the video game that I'm premiering is the first ever video game that I'm a part of. Yay.
Okay.
When the Archetype team first reached out to me, I was excited about becoming a part of the gaming world, but what really turned me on was when they shared the game's vision and my role in it. I will be voicing a character in this game, and all I can say is that I will have a unique relationship with every player. In this game, time moves differently.
Mm-hmm.
Days for you are decades for your loved ones back home. The
Just like
choices that you make not only affect the people that you love, they'll also affect your entire civilization for generations to come. And personally, I have had some experience with time dilation. And now you can too. So now I'm proud to share the first ever look at Exodus.
Max, we need to head back.
Hold on, I'm getting a reading.
Well.
Max!
Wait!
Max!
Archetype
What
Entertainment.
she found that day was a miracle. It would be our salvation to fight against the Celestials, humanity's greatest enemy.
That's so cool.
This is it.
They found us.
Stop! Stay down!
The Celestials hunted us down. I knew they'd keep chasing us until they ripped our ship apart, and I had to save her.
Oh
I
no.
led them away from this world, away from her. We both knew the cost of using the gates. When you travel at light speed, time slows to a crawl. It was only days for me, but an entire lifetime passed for her. And in the chaos of those final moments, we never said goodbye.
No, come with me.
That's heartbreaking.
Please, Tom. I love you.
Our service, our sacrifice, discovers worlds, seeds hope, breaks empires. We are the travelers.
We wear cool cloaks and hoods. Alright, so become the traveler, right? And I'm gonna run it back. Because there's a very short gameplay here. What's up, Iceman, Dante? How you guys doing? We're reacting to Exodus here, and we're going to take a look at all the video footage that has been released for this. And we're going to take like a deep dive into it. So this is pre-alpha gameplay on the PS5. This was back in 2023, though, so keep that in mind. So, you know, we're kind of used to like the Mass Effect games and like how they play, but this looks a little more... Like, it's still going to be a role-playing game and whatnot, but, like, the action sequences of, say, Mass Effect and, like, Dragon Age, they were a specific kind of action. Like, over-the-shoulder, you know, cover-based shooter with, you know, the ability to do tactical decisions where you can, like, command your teammates, like, use this gun, use this ability, you know, fire at this enemy, you know. And you could do all those things live as you played the game. Well, this looks like it's leaning, you know, it might have all those features, maybe, we don't know. But it's also leaning pretty heavy into, like, action sequences, right? Like, you've got the sliding down a cliff thing. You've got, and the jump cuts are just, like, ridiculous. It looks like you have some stealth sequences here, which could be really cool. And then, of course, you have, you know, shootouts, which is not super surprising, but, like, everything just looks really cool. And, you know, spaceship flying nearby, exploring ancient civilizations. The like, grapple gun, I don't know if that's something you only use to, like, cross gaps, or if it can be used to kind of traverse. And then, of course, we're seeing, like, you know, this character that appears to be piloting a mech here. That's pretty cool. So if we go back, and we got some more of the Celestials here, just battling them, some gunplay, and some melee action here. Now I've graduated from, you know, the whole arm wrap, you know, very tight, to just like a wrist and hand wrap here, and they're gonna take the stitches off next week. And then I got 4 weeks after that for the next follow-up. And we'll see where I'm at then. And we'll decide what to do with the left hand. But we really got to let the right hand recover. And I have, like, exercises and stretches to do. But I still can't be using it for, you know, gameplay. But yeah, if we look right there, like, we'll see some very brief... It's so cool. Their designs are awesome. See, like, a very brief melee attack right there with what looks like an Omni Blade from, like, Mass Effect, you know? Just, like, sort of a, you know, some sort of, like, computer-generated blade that comes out of your gauntlet. Like, it, you know, so obviously it's got some of the same DNA, but, like, you know, steal from the best, I guess. And then it looks like here he's, like, well, it skips too far back, but... Here he's like harnessing, you know, some sort of energy, some sort of new power here. You know, very similar to like biotics in Mass Effect, which is, you know, more or less, if we're simplifying it, it's like the Force in Star Wars. You know, you get to do cool attacks. So here he does like a ground pound, sends enemies flying. That's pretty cool. So that's our first trailer. And we know that it's like next-gen consoles only, PS5, Series X and S, PC, and of course, Archetype is an Austin-based company with, of course, James Olin, a veteran from BioWare, leading this, and then also Wizards of the Coast is publishing this. So you know there's got to be like some good writing here. All right, so what we do next is let's check out a couple different videos. First, we're going to start off with the Exodus gameplay trailer. This is a 2-minute trailer that came out just a month ago. Okay, I didn't say play. Okay, so let me hit the click button here. All right. And let's go over here. Let's check this out. The Traveler's Creed. And we're going to check out multiple trailers here.
Preparing to transfer now.
This is pre-alpha.
This is your last chance to bail, June.
Do it.
So we're seeing like, we saw like sort of grappling up to the ledge there. It looks like maybe that ability that you get on your arm here.
This is your last chance to bail, June.
Do it.
YouTube just keeps skipping back too far. Yeah, I think they... Hello? Yeah, that's my frame thing. Okay. Well, yeah, it's not working like it used to. But yeah, just interesting traversal options. This kind of looks like someone that's in like a mech, but they've been like hit by his abilities. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're seeing platforms just generate out of nothing. Oh, nice, he froze him. Yeah, the guns look really cool too, by the way. Nitrous.
Loaded weapon is a hell of a way to greet your new partner.
So you're June.
We're burning time. Now that we're all best of friends, let's make each other rich.
I'm not just here to look pretty. I've got away with celestial tech.
Okay, so basically that's what it is. Like celestial tech that he's like harnessing the power of. Oh, it looks cool. And that is a giant space bear. And it looks like someone's doing some sort of ability there with that red slash in the background. So, I don't know. That kind of leads me to believe that this might be like Mass Effect in some ways, where it's like you can tell your teammates like, hey, do this. Or maybe they do it on their own, too. Meleeing a bear is crazy. Okay, so grappling is going to be real, but it does look like you can see there's a hook on the platform. So it might be only very specific points. It might not be like, you know, Batman or something where it's like, oh, you can grapple to like any ledge, you know. This might be very specific context use.
I see a lot of potential in this new partnership.
Let me light the way for you.
Yeah, a little bit of stealth. You know, Mass Effect didn't really have the ability to like crouch walk and sneak up behind enemies. Like any stealth was, you know, a little more difficult than that.
Many thanks
That's a frog.
again for your help.
That's a giant frog.
You should have been honest.
Now this part,
Again for your help.
wait, that was cool dodging that. So that means we have a roll button, which is
You should have been
not always super common there.
honest.
This place is forbidden. The price is death.
Yeah, the aliens look like super
That's
cool.
what it means to be a traveler.
Seeing lots of different abilities. Maybe he's trying to use like a shield with that celestial technology. Pretty cool. So that was a month ago. That's pretty exciting to me. All right. Now, let's take a look at this 5-minute long extended story trailer. So some of the stuff we look at will have gameplay. Some of the other stuff will be more, you know, looking at like cinematics and stuff. So let's play this. Because we want to learn everything. We want to sort of know what we're getting into with this game and how best to spend our money.
Only brilliant, but courageous. To save her planet, she was willing to sacrifice everything and travel to the stars. As a frontier world, we were barely hanging on. And desperate, we tried digging up our past to find the key to our future.
Max,
Okay, that was the girl from the first trailer. This is 2023, right? So now we're extending that trailer, learning more about it.
I'm all right.
What she found that day was a miracle. It would be our salvation. And she used that ship to explore the far-flung corners of the galaxy. A traveler on the hunt for celestial treasure.
Okay, so a little bit of like treasure hunter vibes mixed in with like space exploration, RPG narrative mechanics, you know. There's Celestials.
Tom, stay down.
That was cool. A homing sticky grenade?
She put her life on the line to bring back artifacts to put us on the path to scientific breakthroughs. She risked everything, time and again. But despite her bravery, eventually her luck could run out. Lucky for us, she made it home safely. While she was alive, she was too humble to speak of her adventures. But at least we, her descendants, can honor her memory. Thank you all for visiting the museum today.
He's got
And
the
safe
hood on.
travels tomorrow.
Probably her.
Hey, that's off limits.
Where's that somewhere?
She was always charging headfirst into the darkness. I was always one step behind.
Oh, that was the guy who launched her
Looking
in
for
the
the light
escape pod.
switch. The Celestials hunted us down. I knew they'd keep chasing us
Yep.
until they ripped our ship apart.
Come on.
He had to get her home safe so he
And I
could
had to save her.
put her in the pod with whatever the artifact was. And he's like, I'm out of here. Lure him away.
So, I led them away from this world. Away from her. We both knew the cost of using the gates. When you travel at light speed, time slows to a crawl. It was only days for me. But an entire lifetime passed for her. And in the chaos of those final moments, we never said goodbye.
No. Come with me. Wait. Please. Tom. I love you.
And
Thank you.
that's her badge, huh? That's pretty cool. And if you actually check out on Amazon the Secret Level series, they did an episode on Exodus, and it was really cool. And it really shows like what the storytelling will be like in this game. So, okay, let's see. I'm just gonna have us roll through a playlist of all the trailers. Then they have like a Q&A series here. That we can check out, but let's see what we learn by checking out these various videos here. Let me see. This one is okay. We already watched that one. I'm gonna skip ahead. Check out video number 2.
The Maruyama would make a hell of the entire universe if they had the power. The monsters they create are testament to that. We call them Coven, the abhorrent slave soldiers of the Maruyama Celestials.
That's Matthew McConaughey.
A cruel blend of changeling creature and augmented machine parts.
Ooh.
Things living in pain and living to cause it. The frightening ones are the smart ones. Things that think almost like people. Maybe think better. Things that will hunt you down like vengeful gods. Difficult to outsmart. Impossible to reason with. It's the traveler trade to cross with evil. But in this darkening cluster of stars, the Coven remain the last thing you want to encounter. Short of the Maruyama themselves. I'm C.C. Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There was a myth back on Earth. 2 ravens sitting upon the shoulders of a god, feeding him information about the worlds below. No secret safe from their all-seeing eyes. Awakened ravens were engineered to be problem solvers, keen curiosity and remarkable memories. But when their Ark ship stopped on the wrong planet, that memory became a curse.
Oh.
They can't forget what went wrong. Not even all these generations later. Ravens are problem solvers, and people, left to their own devices, cause problems. They need a guiding hand, an all-knowing guardian, uncovering secrets, pushing things in the right direction. Yes, the ravens are watching us.
That's kind of creepy.
I'm C.C. Orlev.
Pretty cool.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm still kind of baffled by like the animal creatures that are like in space. I'm like trying to understand like how that's gonna work. Why are we fighting bears and seeing frogs and
Celestials are not big on compassion. One look at the Archivir will tell you that much. These hardy changelings were designed to survive the extreme. Acid, radiation, even hard vacuum.
So we've seen some of these
allows
guys,
them to adapt to almost anything the universe might throw their way. That doesn't mean that they enjoy it, but their celestial creators don't care much about their pain. Archivir are a disposable workforce, dropped off on dead worlds to mine resources and then left behind when the work is done. Some survive, build up communities under hell-like conditions. Of course, their origins leave most of these groups mighty suspicious of outsiders. So approach with caution. I am C.C. Orlev, Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Okay, my bad.
Steel creators don't care much about their pain.
So,
Archivir, our disposable workforce, dropped off on dead worlds to mine resources and then left behind when the work is done.
man, that's kind of
Some
messed up.
survive, build up communities under hell-like conditions. Of course, their origins leave most of these groups mighty suspicious of outsiders. So approach with caution. I am CC Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
I was thinking about a different creature that we saw in the trailer. I'm not sure that we've seen that in gameplay. All right, the bears. Yeah, I want to understand what's going on, because, like, how did they breathe in space? Is there
As
some
we
sort
all
of
know,
augmentation?
The Awakened have a long, proud history of contribution to...
Okay, look, they're showing the guy with the bear right here, right? Behind me on screen. So, I wonder if the bear could eventually be a companion, even if you fight bears, you know, some of them. But let's see.
To our home world.
Hey, guy in the bear.
But how familiar are you really with the origins of your awakened neighbors? Take the awakened bears. Because of their resilient physiology, their ancestors were charged with bringing medical care to early human colonies living in the most remote and hostile of environments of the cluster. A noble beginning for a species that today can be found too often working as mere military muscle.
Aww.
From life-saving medic to
that's-
deadly soldier. Do we
Yikes.
call that progress?
I don't know.
I'm CC Orlev.
I've always wanted to be able to,
Yesterday,
like, pet a bear.
Today,
Maybe
and tomorrow.
you get a bear hug, you know? without being massacred, you know? I'd say that's a pretty good leap. Okay, this is the Marayama here. Yeah, these are kind of cool. Kind of little informative, like, bits of lore that get you kind of curious and thinking about things.
Do you know what fear is? The Marayama do.
Well, that's what
thrive
that
on
ship
it.
is. Okay.
These monstrous celestials haunt the darkest corners of the cluster, hunting for isolated targets. And, unfortunately for their victims, the Marayama are interested in more than just stealing cargo.
Yikes.
They want minds, memories, emotions. The more twisted and tortured, the better.
They like assimilate,
Captured
maybe?
prey will be subjected to intense psychological torment before being neurologically drained. Those rare few who the Marayama allowed to survive and escape often never return to space, for they know too well the terror that lurks out there, in the dark, between the stars. I am CC Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Green Worlds. Because we saw that one thing in the trailer that was like doing some, it was like some green, like poison maybe or something was happening. A weird creature that he was fighting. And it looked like organic.
The Colonel says the future of humanity lies somewhere among the stars. He says nothing is as important as finding new planets to call home. And I believe him. Alien worlds found to be habitable are the new frontier for humanity.
And those ship designs,
As the ancestors once
they're
said,
really cool.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But most are uninhabitable, or worse, deadly. Their atmospheres and ecologies more trouble than they're worth. Others, perhaps viable in theory, prove nothing more than desolate, hopeless wastelands.
Oh no.
Some are even hostile. In fact, it often goes that the more beautiful the planet, the more sinister the threats it holds.
Oh, what the hell?
The few that show fertile promise are made ready for terraforming, and their locations transmitted to the rest of the fleet. Since contact with the other arcs has gone cold, the Colonel insists the Hammercross set up a station here, on Emerald.
Alright, that place looks cool. This is Exodus. It's a game that was announced in 2023.
Toxic.
It might be coming either this year or maybe next year. Latest. Oh no, what happened, guys? Oh no! So we're checking out all the trailers and gameplay and stuff like that, story trailers, and we're gonna read up on some of the information that the developers have released. But this is being led by a BioWare veteran, is leading this team in Austin, and Matthew McConaughey is voice acting one of the characters. Okay, so that's everything. Cinematic reveal trailer from the Game Awards. Yeah, so we've watched all those. So if we go back here, there's some like founders Q&A videos. Maybe this will enlighten us some more about what's going on with that. These are a couple minutes each. Let's see what it's all about. No, it's not an MMO. It's like a single player RPG. Like think like Mass Effect, because I mean it's literally being led by some of that team. What is going on here? I thought Q&A video series. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's check out some of these. How does time dilation play out in the game?
The capital city on your world, Persepolis, a major hub of your adventures and your experience. And so you go off on your Exodus journeys, and you leave behind your city and some of your friends and maybe even family members, and you make choices about them. For example, not everyone has to come on an Exodus with you. You might leave some behind. And
oh man,
when you come back, it could be a decade later, it could be 4 decades later, and those choices will have impacted your relationships with people that are now a decade older or 3 or 4 decades older, how your city has evolved, how technology has been integrated into everything from the military to, you know, civic structures to, well, I can go on and on.
What makes the Traveler, the player character, unique?
June is the player character in the game. You'll have some options in terms of character creation that we'll be talking about at a later time, so that'll give you some unique aspects to who June is for you. But ultimately, your player experience is going to be dictated primarily by the choices you make throughout the experience overall. You'll make choices both at a kind of micro level and a macro level in terms of the overall story and in terms of the things you do with gameplay. So you'll be able to customize your character through some traditional ways in that you can do in RPGs with skill trees and progression paths that we think are going to be compelling for players. But on top of that, the choices you make throughout the story are really going to dictate who June becomes and ultimately what they're shaped, both by yourself, but also the companions that surround you and your loved ones that, in the cases of time dilation, you'll leave them back home in some situations. And the manifestations and ramifications of those choices are going to be meaningful to you and shape you as June the player.
Ugh. What was your vision for the Travelers?
Well, actually, I'd say that it was more Jesse Sky's vision. He was the one who solved the puzzle. We were coming up with the universe and figuring out what a player was doing, and Jesse just kind of brought it all together. You're going to be part of an organization that goes out and finds these remnants that you can bring back that will help your world and change your world, and That's going to be the centerpiece of the IP because that's what the player is going to play as, and that's how the Travelers came about. Jesse is our creative director, and he has a really good way of taking all the elements and figuring out how they work holistically, and then coming up with something cool that players will want to be. So that's how
players always want to be
about.
like explorers.
Yeah, one of the cool things for, if I can add on to that, is just when it was described to me by James and Jesse early on, there's elements of it that we want to feel elite and somewhat secretive. You can think a little bit of inspiration from like the Jedi, but there's not like a Jedi Council in the game that kind of is an overarching kind of structure to it. They're a little bit more rogue, a little bit more independent, but still work towards a common goal of saving humanity. And I think that's kind of a binding force with them on these journeys that they go on that are interstellar and have impact on them timeline-wise that's different from a typical journey.
What can we expect in the world of Centauri?
The Centauri cluster, it's the only place within the galactic neighborhood that had worlds that were in the habitable zone and that could be terraformed easily in the grand scheme of things, which is why the first of those who went out on an exodus on their ark ships were able to colonize those worlds and create civilizations. Those civilizations grew until they were enormous and technologically superior civilizations, and they sent out what we call the green signal to the rest of the galaxy so that the other ark ships out there could come to this galactic Eden. So the ark ships.
This to me almost sounds like what Mass Effect Andromeda was kind of pitching, like kind of what it wanted to be. And this, I'm not sure if that's necessarily what it ended up being. I know I played a lot of Andromeda. Some people, absolutely hated it. I was kind of in the middle. I was like, it's fun, but it's not like as good as the original Mass Effect trilogy. So it feels like this game is kind of trying to go in the footsteps of what Andromeda does, which is a very popular sci-fi concept, which is about colonizing other planets because Earth is uninhabitable or Earth is just, too many people. It could be all sorts of reasons, right? Could be for scientific achievement and advancement and exploration and development of technology.
Started arriving, but they arrived slowly over thousands of years. So we have this really interesting dwarf galaxy with thousands of star systems and empires and organizations. Some of them have already died off and there's just the remnants left, while others might be just a few decades old, filled with humans who just got off their ark ships who were on Earth like a century before. So the sky's the limit, which is really cool because it means that there are so many different places and eras and civilizations that you can visit within the Centauri cluster.
I think one of the coolest things about the IP in that context of that question is just that juxtaposition, like the Celestials that have evolved over 40,000 years contrasted with humans that are basically near Earth to us that just got off ark ships. I mean, James said this, but like if you really stop and think about that, like there are descendants that have changed, and we're kind of as humans, kind of the scrubs of the universe that are fighting to survive. And that's where June comes in as the player character to really kind of reestablish humanity's hope for a future that's meaningful to humans as we know them, contrasted with the Celestials, who are much more evolved and have done some amazing things in the Centauri universe.
The scary and dark creatures we saw revealed recently become a part of the universe of Exodus. Will we interact with them? That's some good questions.
Oh, the Mariama. Of course you're going to interact with them. They're quite creepy, and we did want a celestial civilization that was just evil. We created it was probably like a page-long description of the Mariama and what they were and what they did. But then we gave that to Peter F. Hamilton, and he just dialed it up to like ridiculous. And then the
kind of looks like freaking like the oh man, from Destiny, like, man. Yeah, it almost does look exactly like I don't know, the Cabal, like Valis Stark and all that.
The company that made the video that you saw, Aaron Sims, they took that and just visualized it in an amazing way. So they're turning out to be as awesomely creepy and evil as we wanted them to be.
Which one of the characters and creatures revealed so far would you like to be?
it has to be in the context of what we've already revealed? Because there's so many good ones. I mean, the game overall. What character would I want to be in the world of Exodus that we've revealed so far? Based on that set,
yeah,
I'd
they can't
probably
talk
say
about
June.
anything.
I mean, I'm excited to play as June and define him or her to be the player that I want to be in the game.
You don't want to be a Crown Celestial? The Crown Celestials can, like, literally, they're so smart and they live so long, and they can do everything that June can do, and they have the ability to install riders in their brains, so they don't have to, if they're in a difficult situation, they can give themselves a personality that'll perfectly match it. I'm thinking of all the uses for that. I'd be a Crown Celestial. But I wouldn't do the whole mind line thing, because that would feel like I was murdering my child. So I would just let myself die. I can't remember how long they live.
I like the trials of the heirs, though. That's super cool.
Oh yeah, that was pretty brutal. If you, again, reading the book,
yeah,
it involves a unicorn and lots of gore. So, anyways.
That's crazy. I want to express our heartfelt thanks to our founders and their questions and interest in Exodus. Yeah, that's cool. All right, let's see another Q&A. Because it looks like they've been doing them like every month or so. So let's see if we learn some more here.
I don't think the Awakened count is small, but I really do love the Awakened. But I'm a really big fan of the Silicates daemons. I think they're really cool.
I like Livestone. It's super cool. Like, if you've read the book, you're familiar with it. It's a little bit different in the game, but we still do some cool things with it and are going to give the player a lot of opportunity to leverage that as a tool in their player kit to help their progression and their journey.
Will all the missions involve choices that impact loved ones over time due to time dilation?
All your missions are going to include choices that have impact, but not all of them are going to be directly due to time dilation. There's a big...
I mean, that's good, because it's like, you don't want that to become like so stressful that like you don't want to play the game, or it becomes like indecision time where you're just like, I don't know what to do or what to say, and you end up like pausing the game to like think about, which could be a good thing, but like at the same time, that indecision and, you know, worrying about the complications and the consequences of every decision you make. It's kind of nice to have some decisions where it's like, nah, it just affects, you know, a relationship, or it affects what's going to happen next, and not necessarily like the entire galaxy, you know? Not every decision needs to be like maximum consequences for all of time and the rest of the game.
Story in Exodus, and you're going to be making choices throughout the entire game, of course. Maybe one of the coolest aspects of it is that some of your choices are going to create a domino effect. Like in Act 1, when you have to decide which companion... Oh, can I share this?
No.
No? Okay, well, there's going to be some cool choices that have cascading effect in the game, and the ones where time dilation is in play, yeah, those are the most significant in the game and likely to have the largest ramifications in your story. All the choices you make are going to affect your progression as a character and how you develop as the traveler. Your choices are also going to have an impact on your homeworld and the people that you care about, but the wrong choice can change your relationship in ways you may not anticipate, or maybe that was the right choice for you. Ultimately, it's your game, and we want to give you those choices to do those things.
Does the story of the game relate to the one in the book, Exodus, the Archimedes engine?
Yeah, so even though the star system where the video game takes place is pretty close to the Crown Celestial worlds of Peter Hamilton's novel, it's not in the Crown Dominion, and the humans there aren't dominated by the Crown Dominion Celestials. In fact, the human world is ruled over by humans. It's so that immediately makes it very different, because it gives it different themes, because, you know, you don't have that ever-present, all-powerful celestial civilization over top of you. I like the fact that our universe allows for you to explore different themes and different kinds of stories and everything else. It's like Peter was able to tell his story, and we were able to tell our story, but we also share a lot of stuff. The Crown Dominion Celestials are the main Celestials you're going to interact with in the video game. A lot of the changelings and awakened that you see in Peter's book show up. And in fact, the main character of the book, Finn, also shares some stuff with the main character in the video game.
When will we get our first gameplay trailer?
Thanks for your excitement. I knew we'd hear this question.
Yeah, we need like a longer one, like a 10-15 minute trailer. You know?
And we know you want to see more of what's going on there. We're eager to share it. The team has been working heads down for a while. Things are
like,
coming together really nicely
pre-alpha,
with the game.
But like
it's fun,
real
and I can say that
hands-on.
coming not just from me, but from of our external testing partners. They've been playing the game and telling us how much fun they're having with it. Unfortunately, I don't have a specific date yet for our next gameplay reveal, but a date does exist, so stay tuned.
Will June, the player character, have an established personality or one we can shape as we play? So yeah, that's a pretty good question, because like it feels like in like Mass Effect, you know, Commander Shepard, you know, while you can shape a lot of his stuff, he's pretty like predefined, or she, Femshep, either way. Your character is like kind of predefined. Even if you're like a renegade or a paragon or what have you, like you're still kind of meant to go down a certain path, and it's just like the way you choose to go about it is a little different. But the same goal exists.
A personality that a character might have in a role-playing game is really dependent upon the kind of role-playing game, and it kind of goes on a scale. On one end, you have like massive multiplayer games or Skyrim, where you really can imagine yourself or your character, your avatar, as almost anything you want. On the other side of the spectrum, you have like Final Fantasy or the Square Enix games, where your character's name and gender and everything is decided for you in personality. So at BioWare, we had two kind of different types of franchises. One was the Dragon Age, and one was the Mass Effect. And Dragon Age, we allowed more character customizability. It was more important, because Dragon Age was kind of like a spiritual successor to the Baldur's Gate franchise, and that was important. Mass Effect was more authorial in how the personality was developed, as in, you know, the developers gave Shepard more of a personality. With our game, we are leaning more towards the BioWare science fiction game. You're still going to be able to obviously make choices with a lot of cinematics and where you're fully voiced. We want to have lots of drama. That's hard to do if you don't have a personality.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So it seems like they're leaning more towards like a Shepard type, you know, portrayal, where it's like, you know, you can still decide to be like nice and kind or a total jerk. You know, you can go like Paragon or Renegade. But at the end of the day, if you want a compelling story, your character almost needs to have some sort of predefined personality. And the question is like, will players find that personality something cool that they latch onto? Obviously, it's better to have a character like Nathan Drake, you know, with a big personality that's really cool, that you can just immerse yourself in his life and his world, than it is to have like a blank slate character that like doesn't talk or doesn't really have much of a personality. Think of like GTA 3 or like even Master Chief in some ways. He doesn't say a whole lot. He doesn't, you know, most of the game is just him being like Doomslayer and just kill everything. You know, it's like there's like different takes on that. So it is cool to have like a lot of personality and a lot of that. Not necessarily predetermined, but, you know, have it planned out. So time dilation, will weapons and equipment be obsolete by the time you return? Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, in Exodus, your weapons don't become obsolete as you journey through the game, but you do progress with them along the timeline that you follow. And time is a factor.
Yeah, and the guns look really
cool. Weapons as well. You'll see years and decades go by, especially on the Exodus missions that you journey out on. And technology plays a factor there, obviously, and it evolves with you over time. On these journeys, you're seeking out remnants that are critical to your pursuit in saving humanity, but you also have the choice when you get back home to decide how you want to use those remnants and harvest them. And we think that's a really cool thing, because some of them are going to affect different parts of your player experience, but also your civilization in the game. But they can be used to help make your technology personally better too, in a cool way that we think players
Yeah, do you want to be selfish and
because
like
you're a traveler
advance yourself and your weapons, or do you want to like apply that and harvest it for like the good of civilization, for maybe scientific achievement or you know, some sort of break in culture?
Getting incredibly powerful artifacts that are far beyond your civilization all the time, those aren't going to go out of style, because they're just so much better than anything that your world is going to have. It's going to take hundreds of years, maybe thousands, for your world to catch up to some of those civilizations.
Can you share anything more about CC Orlev? He seems like he's going to be very interesting.
Who's playing CC Orlev.
That's Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
And he's obviously going to be a major character in the video game.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Really revealing anything at this moment, but in the Maruyama video, at the very end, he makes that strange sign-off, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and that's a clue. Anyways.
Third person or first person? Feels like third.
We're making a third-person action-adventure game. That's our favorite perspective. Is it still your favorite perspective, James?
Mine is real-time strategy, but that genre is dead. Just kidding.
Oh
no!
Really don't say that,
it's not
James.
as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
Well, third person. We hope that's what you all
Things
want
have
to
changed.
do.
Yeah.
We're listening to your comments and your questions.
Crazy.
So keep sharing them with us on the Archetype Entertainment social channels. We don't say this enough, but we appreciate all your comments, all the things that you send to us. Thank you for your support and your feedback.
That's cool. I dig it. Let's see how many more there are of these. These are really cool. Oh, September, April. Okay, some of these are going back a little ways, but some of these are a little more brief than the two that we just watched. But I like it. It feels like, you know, we're learning little bits and pieces here about the game and the world.
So I'm
you.
a huge science fiction fan, and I really felt that I had, you know, one more story to tell. It came from actually a long time ago, back in 7th grade, I think. I was reading about Einstein and, you know, theory of relativity and time dilation, and it just blew my mind. I had a teacher who assigned us a short story. We had to write a short story. Before he assigned it, he said that he'd never given out a 100% mark. And of course, I'm very competitive, so I was like, I'm going to get the first 100%. But I spent the entire month, because we had a month, you know, writing and rewriting and writing and rewriting. And I wrote a story about time dilation. Fast forward today, and that's the kind of story I want to tell. Oh, also, I did indeed get that 100%.
So I can attest to the reality of all of that. Like, the fact that James has been that big a nerd for this entire time is amazing, and why we're doing this amazing game together. But also the competitive element of it too. So yeah, totally true story. Totally true story.
Will there be a correlation?
Totally
oh, come on, correlation between choices made and story progression? If so, in what way specifically?
This is one of the exciting parts of what we're building in Exodus. The choices you make are going to impact story progression in a bunch of different ways. Your choices are going to have consequences for your loved ones back home. You're going to see that impact on those choices in cool ways we unfortunately can't reveal quite yet, but they're also going to affect a bunch of other things. Progression options for your character as you advance in the game, your home world and your civilization overall, and that's going to be pretty enormous. We're super excited about that. There's a really cool element that I think we really internally are most excited about, which involves some crazy outcomes with your companions. I wish we could share more today, but we've got to save the details for later.
Any games take place in space? Wait.
Later.
And have not included the ability to explore open space. Oh, that's fair. Will this game give us the ability to explore open space?
Our vision for Exodus is to create a deep story-driven adventure that takes place across the entire galaxy. Exploration and discovery is a big part of that journey. At the end of the day, you're trying to save everything you love. That's your real mission here. To do this, you realize you've got to go out on these missions and uncover exotic
It feels like, to me, it's like mission-based gameplay, similar to Mass Effect, Dragon Age, stuff like that, where it's like, you go to a place, you do a thing. I wonder how open it's going to be, because, like, Starfield is very open. No Man's Sky is, like, extremely open, and this feels like it's got to be, like, somewhere in the middle.
Celestial remnants. How you use them when you get back home is where it gets really interesting. You're back on your home world.
Like, are we going to be piloting spaceships and blasting bad guys? Like,
do you want to use it to make weapons against the Celestials themselves, or expand scientific discovery for humanity? That's just one example, but that's what this is about. Exodus isn't about broad open space exploration.
Okay,
You're on specific missions to recover these remnants. You're driven by time. It's your enemy you can't see, but you also can't ignore it. And that urgency is to get home, figure out how to leverage these things to save your planet, not miss out on what's happened with your loved ones while you've been gone due to time dilation. That's really what it's all about, and we're really excited to unveil that to players.
Time jumps are crafted as story leaps, and are you entering a different chapter of the game's story when you return?
The time jumps are indeed story leaps, but there's so much more than that. Before you go on an exodus, you're going to need to make some really important decisions about your friends, your family, and your entire world. You're going to make these choices knowing that you won't even see the consequences for years or even decades. This gives extra weight to every choice that you make. Your choices are going to continue to have an impact throughout the entire game.
Yeah, it seems like it's leaning more to Mass Effect than like Starfield or No Man's Sky.
Upon your return. But there might be even bigger, unforeseen consequences from that same choice after your next exodus.
My question is, will we get to pilot the ships at all? Even if it's, you know, just in little episodic space battles. Because that's how it feels. It's like, pick a mission, go there, do a thing. You know, most of what Mass Effect was like, sure, you could walk around in the ship, but like you never really got to like properly fly the Normandy. So I'm not sure they're gonna go that way with like actually letting us control a ship like we would want to maybe. Will we ever meet a sentient alien?
Yes.
I mean, I think
will. In fact,
a lot of those races
you will meet
are
several sentient aliens.
Yeah.
You'll even adventure with sentient aliens. But really, the definition of alien in Exodus is a little different because they aren't extraterrestrial. Everything has a terrestrial origin. Everything has come from Earth and has evolved over 40,000 years. And that can lead to some really weird civilizations and versions of humanity. Or
that explains why there's like animals that are not from Earth on
we humans
other
turn
planets.
Wolves into chihuahuas just through breeding them. And now take that, multiply it by 40,000 years, and using all sorts of genetic technologies, and we have a lineup of aliens that's going to be weirder than most science fiction games or science fiction worlds that you've seen.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Break down silicates. What is this? When you break down silicates more in terms of gameplay, would you be playing as a silicate, like a different class, once your character is infected? Ooh.
Silicates are, they're really cool, and they're going to be one of those things that I think people will remember about the game. However, I can't really talk too much about them because I don't want to spoil anything, but I can say that the choices you make in the game will have a huge impact on how silicates appear in the game. So you might be talking to your buddy who's also playing Exodus, and you'll describe your experience with silicates, and he'll be like, what? That's nothing like what's happening, you know, in his version of the game. It's actually pretty cool. There's one choice in particular that is just has massive consequences that span centuries.
Will the game support a variety of different gameplay styles? Can we customize our weapons and abilities?
Oh, definitely. The game supports many different play styles. Like, this is something that's really near and dear to us in terms of the minute-to-minute experience that we want to deliver to players. You're going to be able to build up your character that suits you and your play style and supports the choices you want to make as you play along in the journey that you go through on Exodus.
Gameplay to see before the game launches. Yeah, come on.
So we've been fortunate to be able to have shared some pre-alpha gameplay back at our official announcement at the Game Awards last December. That's really the beginning for us. There's a bunch more gameplay we wish we could share. Today, I have to be very careful because my marketing director's staring at me with steely eyes from behind the camera that you all can't see. So I've got to be very careful with this answer. But all I can tell you is stay tuned because there's amazing stuff going on here at Archetype. The game's looking awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, having a trailer that we watched that would, you know, just a month ago.
So yeah, the game looks awesome.
It seems like they might ramp up some of the gameplay footage soon, maybe.
Fun playing
soon in quotation marks.
That's so true. We had a gameplay review the other week, and Drew actually said this game's actually fun. And we're looking at him like, what? Is that an insult and a compliment from Drew simultaneously? And it was, and it was beautiful.
Gameplay features, changes in future, different endings.
Well, the game's ending is one of probably the defining features of Exodus in that, the choices you make are going to essentially have impacts from the beginning to the end of the game. And at the end of the game, you're going to do, well, I don't want to give away too much, but let's just say there's some time jumps where you get to really see the consequences of the choices you've made over the course of decades, centuries, that kind of thing. And when you talk to your friend who might have also finished the game, you're going to find that his or her experience at the end of the game was completely different. It's a very unique experience, and I can't wait to be able to tell you more.
That's interesting.
Hey, Exodus fans. We're so
I don't
excited
I don't know what that means. It sounds like he said multiple endings.
From everyone at Archetype, it's your enthusiasm that's the fuel that helps us make this amazing game, and we're really looking forward to being able to share more with you.
Sounds like it's
over the coming months.
Sounds like it's gonna be
things coming out really soon. We have a lot we can share.
Oh my God.
Look forward to it. We're excited to talk to you more about what we're doing with this amazing game. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be like the kind of game that has multiple endings, and based on how you play, a lot of different things can happen. Let's see, I think this is the last one that's like 7-8 minutes, you know? Yeah, these others are like a minute long, just kind of quick.
Studio head for Archetype Entertainment and one of its founders.
Hi, I'm Chad Robertson. I'm the general manager and one of the founders of Archetype Entertainment.
Bring the same companions, or will they need to change?
Yeah, companions are a huge part of Exodus. We understand how important they are to players. They're super important to us. We've got an amazing, diverse cast of companions that we've put together. I would love to reveal a bunch of them today, but so far we've only revealed one, and that's Elise. She was revealed to all of you on Valentine's Day back in February. I hope you like her. She's representative of the kind of diversity we have in the game, including some non-human companions that are going to come your way over time.
Will we be able to play as a non-human?
So, non-human playable character. Great question. The answer is not trivial. It's actually a bit of yes and no. We're super excited about some of the things that you're going to be able to do as a player, but because of that, we're not going to reveal all the details for a little while ahead of us.
In the universe of Exodus, when talking about aliens, aliens are, you usually refer to an alien as something that evolved on a planet other than Earth. Now, everything in the universe of Exodus has a terrestrial origin. However, they've evolved over tens of thousands of years, so some of them have evolved into incredibly strange, wondrous, and weird creatures that are often much weirder than the classic aliens you might see in other science fiction franchises. It also includes things such as the awakened, intelligent animals from Earth. There are all kinds of cool stuff that you're going to be able to run across, interact with, and, well, obviously fight as well. So, yeah, there is a huge diversity of species other than just celestials. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the different classifications of them right now, but that information will be coming later on.
Writing a new novel based on Exodus.
So when we were first doing concepting...
Contributing to the game in any other ways. Oh, interesting. Okay.
So when we were first doing concepting on the universe of Exodus, we really wanted to have some great science fiction minds involved in helping us build this universe, and also writing books that could help support the universe, build the backstory. So we made a list of our favorite science fiction authors and put them into tiers of how influential, popular, and how much we like them. And I think there was 4 tiers. Anyways, I was expecting I'd get lucky if I got an author from maybe tier 3. I wasn't dreaming about an author from tier 2 or 1, and Peter Hamilton was in tier 1. And when I found out that he was actually a possibility, that was very exciting for me. And yeah, we got him, and he helped immensely in helping us create this universe and make it much more believable and also scientifically accurate in a lot of different areas. So it was a big boon for us. I'm a huge fan of his. I've read all of his books, and I've also read his new book set in the universe of Exodus, and holy crap, it's awesome.
Oh, that's cool. Decades pass for loved ones left behind during traveler missions. Is there a never-ending roster of new characters to meet every time you return home? Yeah, I guess, like, what if characters, like,
With
die
the passage of decades
age
in
out?
Exodus, there's definitely going to be the introduction of new characters in the game, but there's also a core that will be with you throughout the entire journey. That's really important to us because we want to build emotional connections with your companions, your loved ones, and other main characters in the game. And so you're going to see those evolve with you because some of them are going to go on your journeys with you and some will stay home. But ultimately, there's that core that you're going to see again and again and build deep foundational relationships in addition to new ones that you'll see when you come back home and in other aspects of the game. So we're super excited about unveiling that to players.
Are all descendants of humans who fled Earth? Yeah, there's non-human creatures of Earth.
Has a diverse
like the
cast
bears
of,
and all the other stuff.
Strange creatures, intelligent, non-intelligent, and as I had said before, all of them have a terrestrial origin. That doesn't mean that all of them, however, are evolved from humans.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Some of them will be evolved from what we call awakened animals. Animals whose intelligence has been enhanced, and then over the course of tens of thousands of years,
kind of crazy,
they've changed into creatures that sometimes are in no way do they look like the animals that they evolved from. There will be creatures that are not descended from humans in the game, but they will be descended from terrestrial animals.
Come on, you have to tease one. You have to tease one out, man. Just shout it out. They want to know.
Well, no? I can say that. No, I guess I can't say anything.
Oh, I tried. I tried for you, but yeah, he's too good.
How involved will Matthew McConaughey be in Exodus? He said he would interact with almost every character. What does that mean?
I think the coolest thing of this is the number of theories we've seen pop up about how Matthew plays a role in our game is exciting. Ultimately, his usage in the game we think is going to surprise a lot of people in a very exciting way.
Matthew's role in the game is a really important one. Matthew McConaughey's character
That's good to see that he's not just like
the game from the very start.
A character that's just like, "Hi, how you doing?" And then bye. He's just like done.
He's just
if he's got a presence all throughout the game,
so
that'd be dope.
We love that he's on the team, and I think and there's also a twist with his character, of course, because you know how much we love twists. So, but that's all I'm going to say there.
The only thing I got to add, though, like when we heard some of the first stuff come back from him, I think everybody on the team got chills. It's amazing. We're so thrilled to be able to partner with him.
Yep, agree with that. So what am I most excited about working on this project is just the amazing people that I'm working with and getting to see their work as it comes in. As I said before, Peter Hamilton's novel, when I got to read that, wow, that was just awesome. We have incredible talent within the studio and outside of the studio. There's amazing concept art that's coming in all the time. The writing from the different writers that are working on the project is incredible. I'm just excited about working with these people. Just to give an example of how cool it is, for example, I'll be struggling with a problem with the IP of the game, and then I'll just remind myself, I actually have it up on my whiteboard, ask Peter Hamilton, and so I'll send him an email. I'll say, hey Peter, can you just
email him?
He does do this. He does do this.
Can you come up with an idea for this for me? And he like literally just a few hours later, I'll get this enormously well thought out write-up from him on how to, like, you know, on a new technology from the future, where I'm like, how do you just come up with this shit so fast? And you're just on a different level than the rest of us
creative
mortals.
Imagination.
Anyways, that's probably my favorite aspect.
All the same things that James said for me. I mean, we've got an amazing team, both internally and externally, that we're just humbled to work with. But the thing I'm probably most excited about is that we've actually got a fun game. I mean, I was just playing it, and can't share too much yet, but it's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let's see what some of the shorter ones are about, and if we learn anything new. Oh, those are two different characters than what we see in all the footage now with June.
Hi, welcome to the Exodus Game Founders Q&A. The Founders program is a community program where you can join us now at exodusgame.com for exclusive in-game rewards and more.
I dig that. Yeah, that feels like a repetitive question.
Again, that's the core
We've
of the
heard
game.
this like 4
so
times already.
The ending is something that we're putting a lot of work into, and it's
yeah. If they're having
pretty
multiple
awesome.
endings, that is going to take a lot of work.
Time dilation and how it impacts the choices you make in the game is the core of the game. It's what Exodus is all about. So yes, it's you're going to be able to make momentous decisions, and you're going to be able to see the results of those decisions over the course of years, decades, and even centuries.
How can I learn more about the world Exodus?
You can learn more about Exodus
Oh my
by
God.
going to our website,
That was
exodusgame.com.
cheesy.
There's
That was
tons
great.
of great information there, and including some lore that we've taken a lot of time to curate and get ready for you, so you can learn more about the depth of the story, the depth of the background of the universe, and hopefully be excited about being on this journey with us.
Hi, welcome to the Exodus Game Founders Q&A. The Founders program is a community program where you can join us now at exodusgame.com for exclusive in-game rewards and more.
Okay, we get it. We get it. What inspired you? No, we've already heard this question.
I mean, I think the idea of game, lifelong dream.
Same.
That is.
Butterfly effects, or mostly linear choices.
The game is definitely not linear. That's not the style of game that we've ever been interested in making. It's,
yeah, no
it's a game
linear
where you make choices.
decisions.
Not only will your choices impact the fate of your people and world, but also you're going to have the freedom to explore this new universe the way you want to explore it. That's always a very important factor in a role-playing game. So definitely not linear.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just want to browse these and make sure.
So you're going to be able
Shape our world, define our character. We've already had that. War between Celestials and humans.
Well, I wouldn't really call it a war between the Celestials and humans because, well, the humans would lose that war instantaneously. The humans are the underdogs in the cluster, and the Celestials possess technological prowess that far exceeds anything that any human civilization could match. It's really a situation where humans are at the very bottom of the food chain in this galaxy.
Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay, there's like 2 more after this one.
The Exodus Game Founders Q&A.
I just want to see if we get any new questions.
The Founders program is a community program where you can join.
Or if it's just.
There's, there's different mediums. Interstellar, obviously, was a movie that was very inspirational. From Dune as a book and a movie was very inspirational. We've also drawn from the IPs that we've worked on in the past, and we've worked on quite a few IPs. So as a fan, yeah, science fiction, I love it. And obviously my number 1 is going to be Star Wars. Number 2 is Frank Herbert's Dune. And number 3, I can't say because, well, it would spoil some of the things we're going to talk about in January.
Huh. Real life science in the game?
Oh yeah, we've taken the development of this science fiction universe very seriously. And yeah, the science behind any of the features within the universe is something we've definitely thought about. But more importantly, we've been working with some of the best science fiction authors in the world, some of the best directors and concept artists, and we're going to talk more about that in January, actually, who those people are.
Yeah, so I guess we can expect another QA video.
Hi. Welcome to
or actually,
the
that
Exodus Game
was
Founders
December.
Q&A.
Yeah, we've already.
It is the Omega Centauri, which is classified as a globular cluster, but is also called a galaxy. It's an ancient and very unusual kind of galaxy. You can read up on it. It's very cool, and we picked it for a reason. And I think it will allow us to tell lots of cool stories for years or decades, hopefully.
There's so many. I mean, we're active gamers ourselves, so a lot of stuff that we've played over the last bunch of years. I think I'd start at the basis of the kind of games we've made before in our careers, gives us that foundation. You know, RPGs with choice and consequence, where choices really matter, is probably one of the biggest driving parts of it. But then inspiration in terms of current stuff, everything from the Horizon Zero Dawn series to Tomb Raiders, up to even things from Naughty Dog like Last of Us. Like the quality bar that each of those brings to their different facets of the game are things we look at and hope we can bring into the experience that players will love with Exodus.
Views for the trailer music.
We're just fans of them. They're awesome. They're rockers that make great music. Ultimately, we also felt like their fandom for science fiction and for games, because they're gamers themselves, really maps well with what we're trying to do with Exodus. And ultimately, I don't know, it fits what we're doing really nicely. Like if you watch that trailer, the tempo of it, the drive of it all just really maps in really nicely, and we're excited about having them as partners in our first journey with the first trailer that you saw.
Balanced gameplay and telling
balance is the key word there for
story.
us. Like we've always felt like a great narrative will drive and carry the player experience overall, so that the minute-to-minute supports it, makes the player feel like they're part of it and an active participant in what's going on in their player experience overall.
Okay. I think, is there one more to this? Just kind of catching up on everything they've done. Yeah. I think after this, we'll take a look at some other things.
Welcome to the Exodus game
God.
Founders Q&A.
Is the protagonist voiced? Oh,
yeah,
come
in the game,
on.
The protagonist is voiced. We want players to feel that identity and connection to the player.
Basic.
And voice is a key part of that to make it feel immersive.
What would you like to say to the sci-fi fans?
We're super excited to have sci-fi fans join us on this journey. It's something we're passionate about, and ultimately,
can't find any other questions
that motivate us to make a great.
I don't know if that's the only other question they answer.
By the universe that we've created here, and we're hoping that you enjoy it too.
We are also huge sci-fi fans, and we want to make a game for you that you're going to love, and that hopefully you remember decades from now.
Makes
and
sense.
It's a game where we really are focusing on choice and consequences, and that will be evident when you get to the end of the game, which I hope you and your friends are talking about years and years from now.
The reason we're sitting here talking is because we're passionate about what we're doing, but we also really value, I mean, we worked on some games that we're really proud to have been part of in our careers, but one of the biggest lessons we learned was building a community actually helps us in so many ways. It helps motivate us, but it also helps give us feedback on the things that we're doing that ideally will make the game that much better. So spending this time now to help get you introduced to our universe is really important to us. We're not doing this just to, attract people to what we're doing. It's about building a community now that's with us for the long haul, to stay with us for the long haul. We would love this game to be something that we're still talking about 10 years from now as players and as developers for it, and that you're enjoying just as much 10 years from now or more than even today.
Cool. All right. So, I want to take a look at a few other things. We'll see if we can pull up some other details. But I think, for the most part,
Hi, welcome to
oh
the
my
Exodus
God,
game.
stop it. Quit playing them. Okay, so I think those videos really adequately lay out what's going on there. But let's see. Okay, so it says, become the traveler. Having fled a dying Earth, humanity has found a new home in a hostile galaxy. Here we are the underdogs, fighting our final battle for survival. You are the traveler, humanity's last hope. So it says here, the bequest. Across the vast Centauri cluster, ancient ruins lie hidden beneath rocks and debris, buried remnants of those who came before us, an endless cycle of civilizations, human and celestial, rising to glory, then crumbling into dust. Let's see. Oh, okay. So they have like a full-on... You could just sit here and read lore for a long time. All right, let's kind of just like skim over it so we get some ideas here. So, as travelers, returning home stirs trepidation and uncertainty. As sharp as the moment we first embarked on our exodus, we carry the quiet ache of knowing that while we were lost in time, the world moved on without us. Oof. Across the vast Centauri cluster, ancient ruins lie hidden beneath it. Okay, that's the same. Okay, just at the edge of hearing. Not all ARC ships arrived in the Centauri at the same time, nor did they all have the same success starring a settlement. Those who arrived first, those who evolved into what we now call Celestials, were not always the most gracious of hosts. Maruyama, okay, we saw that reveal trailer. They're not hunters, they're sadistic predators who savor every moment of psychological torment. Green Worlds, power died just as Evan calibrated the receivers, an increasingly time-consuming task given the deterioration of the Hammercross's long-range communications gear. For a moment, he sat there in the dark listening. The hum of the ventilators was still audible. The blackout hadn't cut off his air. Torrance, an engineer from an ARC ship, Tamerlane, is stealing supplies and selling them on the black market right under the snout of an unlikely detective. Oh, wow. Inheritance, Edith, a brilliant engineer working on an impossible deadline, struggles to reconnect with her teenage daughter before time runs out. Kendall's job as chief technician on the abandoned bride forces her to get creative in finding spare parts to keep the ship's systems running. 99% workable. Jurgen Barendown, billionaire financier, the fortunate son, hosts a party for his wealthy friends on the eve of the ARC ship's impending launch, but not everyone will be celebrating. That's crazy. Traveler's guides. So yeah, we know about time dilation. Tiny blue marble. Silicates, okay. Faced unknown challenges spread across, okay. I want to see more on the silicates. Let's pull that up real quick. Quit it. Silicate eggs. Simple crystals or gems with no power or significance. Touch of a human does a symbiotic bond. Oh my god. Silicate to hatch and merge with human flesh. Radical and permanent. Oof. Symbiotic union. Known as the daemon. The individual skin changes, becoming translucent but virtually impervious. Musculature evolves, giving them incredible speed, strength, and other physical abilities. They become something greater, something even the Celestials fear. Oof. They don't need weapons. They are weapons. Okay, silicates only bond with humans. There are some who see them in a religious light. Human-silicate coexistence is preordained. Ooh. Brought to fruition by a higher power. Daemons are prone to intrusive, violent thoughts and urges. Some theorize silicates are speaking to their hosts through these dark musings, influencing... Oh, no, it's like the Borg. They all assimilate. Oh, no. Interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to learn more about that. Elohim. Most of what we know is speculation based on myth and legends. Even now, 15,000 years later, influence still defines Centauri. Celestial remnants. Using those remnants to level the playing field. Archimedes' engine. In the aftermath of the brutal formation wars during what became known as the Remnant Era, technological marvel emerged. And I guess that's what they used to, like, fly forward, you know, and light speed across the galaxy. Okay, so founders get the Exodus Aegis spacesuit, and you get a founder's patch. First to know Exodus news, events, and more. Get the Traveler's Star emblem. Okay, that's pretty cool. You just do the email, refer some friends, you unlock the Founders, Friends, Champions Cloak. That's pretty dope. I dig it. The website has like a lot of lore here, so if you want to explore more into Exodus, but I think I'm pretty well sold. I think it looks really cool. And I think at this point it's really just up to like, you know, all we've seen is like pre-alpha gameplay. I think the next key part is going to be when we see like actual gameplay, like, you know, they show us like the UI, the menus, like will we be able to, you know, sort of control our teammates in the way that we're familiar with in games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age? You know, what's the character customization like? Are we going to be flying spaceships at all? Or is it just kind of, you know, you just choose to do a mission here and then automatically you sort of just fly over there? You know, how's all that going to work? So I don't know. Seems cool. Seems interesting. I'm always excited to see more about it. I will be live later. I think we're doing 3-player Helldivers tonight with the guys. I will just be in my spectating mode, but I am going to try to display all their gameplay on stream. But yeah, this has been Exodus, and like the more I've learned about this game and the fact that I can just pull up the website and read even deeper stories about the lore of these characters and the world and stuff, makes it all the more interesting. So I hope you're as excited as I am. But yeah, just that small, like minute long or so glimpse of gameplay is kind of like all we really have to chomp on for now. But I am excited, and it does look cool, and I hope we'll see some more soon. Given that gameplay, or not the gameplay, but the last trailer that they dropped was like a month ago, you know, it's possible that maybe we see things as the coming months go by. If this game is to come out this year or next year, maybe we'll learn some more. So looks very exciting to me. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Take care, be safe. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.